المنتخب سيدات في العموم وليس فقط في مباريات المنتخب المغربي، مستويات نسائية اليوم ختام مسك في هذه القمة. المغرب أمام جنوب إفريقيا، ولا منتخب سبق له أن فاز باللقب الإفريقي. جنوب إفريقيا المنتخب المتمرس، المنتخب الذي وصل للمباراة النهائية في أكثر من مناسبة. المغرب في مسار استثنائي ورايا بهذه المساندة الكبيرة للآلاف من الجماهير. اليوم أتت من كل حدب وصوب، من مختلف المدن، من الرباط خاصة ومن النواحي، والكل يعشق المغرب والكل يعشق المنتخب. نعم يسامحون الرجال، ولكن اليوم هو يوم كرة القدم النسائية بهذا الحدث وبهذا الأداء الكبير المقدم على مدار مباريات هذه البطولة. واليوم ننتظرها إيجابية وننتظر كأس مغربية بالمؤازرة الجماهيرية الكبيرة اليوم بمدرجات مجمع الرياضي الأمير مولاي عبد الله. تصلكم اتباعا تشكيلة المنتخبين. عادة رينال بيدروس لا يغير في التشكيل، إذا غير فهو يغير عنصر أو عنصرين على أكثر تقدير، وهو ما يفعله في هذه المباراة. رينالدو بيدروس حاضر بخديجة الرميشي في حراسة المرمى، حنان أيت الحاج 17، ياسمين مرابط 21، نسرين شاد 5، زينب رضواني 2، لايلودي نقاس 6، سنام سود 18، غيزلان شباك 7، فاطمة تاقناوت 11، روزي لايان 23، وإيمان سعود رقم 20. يا لا منصورة، يا لا منصورة رائعة. هنا إبهار، هنا إعجاب بما يحدث في المجمع الرياضي مولاي عبد الله. صورة حضارية تعبر عن هذا الشغف الكبير والحب الكبير لكرة القدم سواء الرجال وكذلك على مستوى النساء. تعاطف كبير ومساندة لا مشروطة لفتيات المغرب من أجل إنجاز غير مسبوق في تاريخ كرة القدم النسائية. جنوب إفريقيا حاضر بكامل العناصر الأساسية اليوم والركائز. العمود الفقري لمنتخب جنوب إفريقيا مشكل من ماميلودي ساندانس، هناك في الساوث أفريكا تلاميني في حراسة المرمى، رامالي بيتنين، مبامي 8، كواتي رقم 14، جاني 15، سيزاني 9، ماتالو هذه أخطر لاعبة في منتخب جنوب إفريقيا، ماتالو التي تنشط في الدوري السويدي، وسيو بوسينمو اللاعبة رقم 12، اللاعبة التي تنشط في نادي سبورتينغ براغا. باستثناء 3 عناصر في منتخب جنوب إفريقيا، فكل فتيات جنوب إفريقيا. صور انطلاقة لفاطمة تاقناوت تلعب أمامية في اتجاه روزيلا، ولكن خروج حارسة المرمى دلاميني في نهاية الأمر. تتابع هذه الكرة في رأيي الشخصي أفضل لاعبة في كأس الأمم الإفريقية من دون مجاملة ومن دون مبالغة هي فاطمة تاقناوت، تنشط في أبرز الأندية الأوروبية، فكل التوفيق لفاطمة تاقناوت سواء في نادي الجيش الملكي الفريق العسكري أو ربما مستقبلا في أحد النوادي في أوروبا، لما لا يتستحق ذلك. وصلت الكرة لفائدة منتخب جنوب إفريقيا، المنتخب الذي لم ينهزم طيلة مباريات هذه البطولة بما فيها الفوز على منتخب نيجيريا بنتيجة 2-1. هذه ديزيري إليس مدربة منتخب جنوب إفريقيا، والتي تم اختيارها كأفضل مدربة في ليلة حفل جوائز الكاف والتي نظمت بمركز محمد السادس بضواحي العاصمة المغربية الرباط، تحديدا في مدينة سلا. حفل مرة أخرى أبهر الجميع، بينما لدينا كرة لمنتخب جنوب افريقيا. برافو برافو نسرين تشاد، ستكون الفرصة للعودة لحفل جوائز الكاف، لأنه فعلا ما شاهدناه ما رأيناه في ذلك الحفل شيء يدعو للفخر على مستوى التنظيم، على مستوى التنسيق، وبالتالي كل شيء مر على أحسن ما يرام وفي أبهى الصور. تابع الجميع ليس فقط في القارة الإفريقية بل على الصعيد العالمي، الكل وقف هذا الصرح الرياضي الكبير مركز محمد السادس بشهادة نجوم كبار على مستوى اللاعبين وكذلك على مستوى أيضا المسيرين. وأعتقد بأن كانت فكرة سديدة من طرف الجامعة الملكية المغربية بتنسيق مع الكاف لتنظيم هذا الحفل، حفل جوائز في مركز محمد السادس حتى يقف الجميع عند هذا الصرح الرياضي الكبير. كرة الأمامية وخير دليل على ما أقول فساديو ماني الذي كان من بين الحاضرين والذي توج بجائزة أفضل لاعبين في افريقيا، فهو كان لديه تصريح والذي خاض بعض المران الخفيف في مركز محمد السادس، فهو عبر صراحه بانه لم يسبق له ان راى مركزا بتلك المواصفات التي يتوفر عليها مركز محمد الخامس او محمد السادس.
Sundown star who's just snatched the ball away from the 27-year-old based in Switzerland. Pedros. There's an intriguing tactical battle that is set to develop between Pedros and Desraelis in tonight's tie, and Desraelis having been named Women's Coach of the Year for the third time at the recent CAF Awards. Maybe the expectation of an upper hand from Desraelis, but do not underestimate the Atlas Lionesses coach. Edelhaj, that's too strong, I suspect, and indeed the ball wins its way to the goal line. How are you seeing the tactical battle between the two coaches?
It has been interesting just to observe at the moment Coach Desri's tactics, really making sure that she gives a bit of sense of stability and a bit of muscle with the inclusion of Nomvula Khaoula today. But also the coach, Pedro of Morocco, now really making sure that his team are sitting back a bit more compact just to absorb the pressure.
Supasenwe looking to find Boiler. Here's Supasenwe again. It was a decent return ball, but Nisreen Al-Shad dealing with Supasenwe's immediate danger. Tugnote picking up Shabak. Hassan is on her. And the Ridwani is brought into play. Looking to go on the overlap here is Ridwani. Sudi can't pick out Ayane as Bambanani Mbani has beautifully intercepted Hassani. There's Mutlalo. Among the star players of this tournament undoubtedly is Linda Mutlalo. And this time Karabou Dlamini's ball a little too far ahead of Jermaine Supasenwe. Dlamini, a few words to Hilda Mahaya. It's Mahaya returning to the starting lineup. She picked up a dead leg after scoring against Nigeria in the opening game. Ultimately, the decisive goal came off her boot. Delage. And Mahaya is the one who clears this ball as Mansoud looks to prove dangerous down the flank. Pedros, proficient passer and somebody who is renowned for his passing game in his days playing for France. Supasenwe goes off her feet, but here's Tsane Notlolo. Notlolo is her twin sister, currently studying in the United States. And I remember when these 14-year-olds burst onto the scene in the then Sasol League, and how much expectation was heaped on their relatively young shoulders at the time.
Yeah, I think it was just a matter of time that we see them really broadening their territory where women's football is concerned. Nobolo's entrance in the national team, her sister as well as Nobolo. And it's all, you know, the league based at home. They were introduced from Cape Town Roses. And I think just looking at their progress has been really a good revelation for South African women's football.
It certainly has. Mahaya this time, a little bit of a battle here with Nesrine El-Shad, who's got to be considered for the young player of the tournament. She's only 19 years old, El-Shad, and she's been exceptional. Not only has she scored, she's been a defensive linchpin for this Morocco side. Brabet, Shebuk, Hanan Etelhaj, one of effectively half the squad that play their football with Royal Armed Forces. Asfar to some. So 10 minutes have come and gone. Goalless it remains in this final. Certainly not lacking in enthusiasm, the crowd, but they are mildly muted every time South Africa has possession. Here's Huale looking for Mahaya, who can't find a return ball, and now the captain looks to streak away. And Shebuk's pass is intercepted by South Africa. Matlo. Karabo Dlamini just getting himself tangled up for a brief moment. Back to Matlo, who turns 37 in September. A little flick on here by Super Senwe. Mahaya's in the area looking for a cutback, and that is going to be a corner, says the referee. Mahaya is expecting a penalty call here. Desraelis, meanwhile, is fuming instructions. Mahaya around the outside, and that's a good catch of the ball by the Moroccan player. A little miscommunication between the South Africans, it seemed, because nobody was preparing to take the free kick. Huale has now picked up the ball and will head out towards the corner flag. Huale, very good on the ball, and somebody who can shoot from range as well. It's an area where South Africa has been lacking in this tournament. Accurate shooting from range. First corner. And dealt with by Marishi. The partisan crowd is warmly welcomed. That catch of the ball. Ridwani, Sudi, Shebuk. Immediately on her and forces the captain into a mistake. Ramalepe returning to the starting lineup as well for Banyana tonight. She picked up a yellow card in the quarter-final match against Tunisia. And I suspect Desraelis was deliberately resting her in the semi-finals. Bongeka Gamede started in her place. Ramalepe returns to the starting lineup here. As Dlamini briefly brought into play. Steers it towards the 2008 African Women's Player of the Year. Matlo, Dlamini, Super Senwe wants to get past Delhaj, and she has done. Here's Mutlalo. South Africa looking dangerous, ball in that was threatening to go in behind the defence, but the Spanish-born Mrabet has claimed possession. Some of her former teammates are playing in the Women's European Championship currently. Yasmin Mrabet, Madrid-born to a Moroccan dad and an English mother. Won the 2018 UEFA Under-19 Women's Championship with Spain. They beat Germany in the final. Ridwani down that far side flank. Ridwani, down she goes. Free kick goes the way of Morocco. Ramalepe is the one that helps Ridwani to her feet. Tassane with the little challenge. And South Africa, they look to be putting a great deal of pressure on Morocco when they are in possession, and Morocco find themselves being pushed back ever so often.
I think the South Africans have really tried to make sure that when they are out of possession with the ball, they need to get closer to one another and get into those spaces. Really frustrating the Moroccans because they want to get those passing lines open, but the South Africans have really stood their ground to make sure that nothing goes through.
Yeah, indeed. Morocco have played a very, very quality brand of possession football, just punctuated by an attractive passing game. El Shad looks to pick up Redouane again. She steps away from danger. How about this for a pass? It looked to be going beyond Mbane, but she's come across very nicely to snatch possession away. Intercepting that ball before Ayane could run onto it. Bambanani Mbane, Juice. And she's known to her teammates because of her sweet personality, of course. 15 minutes have come and gone, and it's a disgruntled-looking Morocco captain, Gislen Shebak, and a ponderous-looking coach. Ramalepe has to deal with the green lasers that have again made their way into the venue. Shebak, here's Nakash. A little slip from Shebak, who was looking to run into a dangerous position, but the ball has fallen towards Dagnaoud, who's recovered possession for Morocco. Mahaya's intercepted. Mutlalo goes down expecting the free kick. It's not gone away. Sudi has come away with possession. Now Mrabet. Redouane. She's been one of the standout players, undoubtedly, of this tournament, Redouane. Not be surprised to see her name in the team of the tournament come the end of Morocco 2022. Goal kick it'll be. Well played by Bambanani Mbane in shepherding that ball to the goal line. South Africa, once again, to start their move from the back. Dagnaoud looking to put Karabo Dlamini under pressure. Motlo steers it forward into the prospective path of Mahaya, but instead it's met by Mrabet. Karabo Dlamini, a little bit of tidying up to do, and indeed just takes the safety first approach and knocks the ball out of play. Fatima Dagnaoud, the distinctive silver braids. El Shad currently turns out for Saint-Etienne in France. Saoud looking for that ball in towards the path of Redouane, and that's going to be a corner. It should have been a corner. Philo Jane got a final touch on that ball from our vantage point. This is Saoud's ball. It was lacking in pace by the time it was approaching the goal line. And indeed, Jane got a final touch on that. Redouane incensed that it was not called corner. Here's Saoud. Towards Bambayane. That ball wide and all out of play on the far side. Throw into Banyana. Morocco believe they are ready for this final on every level. Physically, technically, tactically. South Africa have similar belief in their ability. They've been working with a mental coach, Leanne Redding, just to prepare them psychologically throughout this tournament. It stood them in good stead. The only team to win 5 out of 5. Morocco have won 4 of their 5 and played to a 1-1 draw with Morocco in the semi-final. Eventually advanced to the final on penalties. Matlo. Dlamini picking out Hilda Mahaya. Dlamini going around Dagnaoud. Senagata Iore of Nigeria, the assistant referee on the near side, saying that ball was out of play. Yes, Super Senwe got a little touch on that. Mahaya getting another touch on it is Delage is being put under pressure here. She's barely been able to move from her position, but on the opposite side, Redwane has been able to explore acres of space down the South African right flank. Two very contrasting fullback situations at the moment.
I think it works for the Moroccans, especially on that left flank, where normally Tagnout would operate and Redwane just covering behind her. But I think Redwane always chooses her moments very well, knowing when to overlap and knowing when to give cover. And I think on this right side, it has been a bit difficult because the fullback has to keep an eye on Hilda. And I think Hilda is one of those players, Mahaya is one of those players that really, once you let her go with the kind of speed that she has and the passing accuracy, she will be able to punish them.
She proved against Nigeria, indeed. Here is Mahaya. 20 minutes have come and gone, goal as it remains in this historic final. Only the third time that Nigeria will not be crowned champions, and we are guaranteed a first-time champion. Will it be Morocco? Will it be South Africa? Jermaine Super Senwe on the ground. She's won back possession here after stepping back up. Dlamini. Matlo. Wale's come deep to fetch and looks to bring Ramalepe into play. And then far side flank, ball out of play. There's Fante Idrissa Kone, the Malian assistant referee on the far side. Shebak to get away from Mtlalo. Just a ridiculously gifted individual is Linda Mtlalo. An abundance of talent. So too, Gizlan Shebak. Born into the Shebak family. Larbi Shebak, her father having won the 1976 Africa Cup of Nations with Morocco. She is 70 minutes away from potentially winning the Women's Africa Cup of Nations with Morocco. And what a family legacy that would be. Ayan, there's Shebak. It's rolling it into the path of Tagnout, who's put under a little pressure here by Super Senwe, and Dlamini's come away with it. A little too strong and wide of Mahaya. Teams have met 3 times before. South Africa's won 2 in the other match that ended 1-1 was Morocco's first ever international. It was played in Pretoria on the 5th of July 1998. It's almost as if it's come full circle for Morocco. They've never met in a competitive fixture. South Africa, though, will be hoping that they can maintain their record of being unbeaten against Morocco come the end of this tie. Ultimately, a historic evening. Whoever is crowned champion will be a first-time winner. Tagnout with a false touch. And it's a South Africa throw. She started playing for Royal Armed Forces at the age of 15, Tagnout, so talented she was. Back to Shebak. Driven backwards by Mtlalo, who has possession now. Dlamini, studying in the United States currently. Barney. And that's comfortable for the keeper. South Africa trying with a long ball forward. Israelis watching on. Banyana's first captain and somebody who has been a stalwart for South African football over the years. Here's Masudi. goes Msoudi. Filojane taking a little of Msoudi. Now, this is where Morocco are most dangerous, from set pieces. Well, they've struggled to score from open play in this tournament. They have not struggled to score from set pieces. And South Africa are well aware. Both these sides have scored 8 goals in the tournament. Morocco wanting to make it 9 here. Shibak just retying her laces. 25 minutes in, goalless it remains. And Morocco over a dangerous set piece. Watch the run of Msoudi, wearing number 18 for Morocco. Watch Rabet and El Shad too. And do not discount Rosella Ayan. Shibak. Floated ball that is dealt with by the height of Siposenwe. And that's out for... That should be out for the corner, I thought, but it's been called a goal kick. Saw it coming off the head of Jermaine Siposenwe. Referee has called goal kick.
Yep, I think the referee has gotten 2 wrong calls so far, and definitely in favor of the South Africans, but the Moroccans just keep applying that pressure, and kudos to South Africa for being able to deal with those set pieces situations where the Moroccans are quite dangerous.
They'll be wanting to keep it as compact as they can at the back. They don't want to be conceding set pieces to this Morocco side. Here's Mansoud. So brilliant with the ball at her feet, but she's been given no space to manoeuvre. And Saud again, immediately wrapped up. Back to Anan El Haj. Squeezes that ball away into the path of Nisreen El Shad. Shibak. Tugnout gets away from Ramalepe. Jani is tidied up nicely. Tugnout will get on the end of this, surely. Delivery in. And Noko Matlo has got enough on that to steer it away from immediate danger. Morocco throw it'll be, deep inside South African territory. There's Rosella Ayan, the Tottenham striker. Msoudi. Shibak. Neither one of these sides, you get the sense, is going to be overwhelmed by the other or the occasion, given that they've both been able to prepare so well and defeat Nigeria on their way to this final. But taking a look at this last attack from Morocco.
They are certainly looking for those pockets of spaces just behind the South African defense. And on a number of occasions when they do combine and they have a 2v1 situation, they are able to beat the likes of Ramalepe, who's always isolated. Hence, the likes of Linda Mutlalo, Refilwe Jane as well, they need to drop to try and give that cover, which I think Mbane has been exceptionally great at it to make sure that the South Africans are given cover.
Rabet. Hassan is back helping out defensively as well, has headed that ball out of play. There's Tugnout. Redouane looks for a captain. Ball out of play of Wale. Throw in taken quickly. Tugnout has it. And that'll be a South African throw. Ball out of play off the Morocco captain. South Africa showing a little fluid movement going into final third of Morocco, but they are abruptly brought to a halt by the Morocco defence. The Atlas Lionesses showing their ability. Karabo Dlamini showing hers as well as she looks to pick out her captain. Jane pushing into a far more attacking position. South Africa looking to take the throw. It's a Morocco throw. Morocco currently on a 17-match unbeaten run against African opposition. As this ball stays in play, it's running along the line, and both players stopped, immediately expecting the ball to be out of play. We don't see that too often as we hit the half-hour mark. Goalless it remains between Morocco and South Africa. Patrice Motsepe, the CAF president, watching on with the head of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, Fawzi Lekja. And Sanam Soudi. Somebody who is very dangerous, can score goals from virtually nowhere. Mutalo off her feet. Looking again around at the referee. She's not going to be getting those calls tonight. This is the earlier set piece.
A well-delivered ball once again from the captain, Chibak. Always just really trying to locate that penalty area, knowing very well that the two centre-backs, very tall in their height, can actually go for those aerial duels. But great work from Jermaine.
Here is Jermaine Supersinwe on the end of this ball. Into that 18-yard area again goes South Africa, but the touch is a false one from Tasane. Sodi Tlalo, though, gets possession, down she goes, and the referee thought about it before eventually awarding the free kick.
You're going to want to see a bit more of Mutlalo on the ball because she has the ability to get out in those tight situations, but incredible ability where vision is concerned. Get those good passes into players. We have to make sure that the players are getting into that final third, especially the likes of Jermaine, Supersinwe, Hilda Makhaya as well, just to take their chances in front of goal.
No, Nomvula Huale stands over this one. She packs a powerful shot from range. So does Nukumatlo, who's standing a little further back, but she might be looking to float a ball into some of the taller South African players. Ermishi stands at the ready. The Royal Armed Forces goalkeeper. It's Huale who looks to go directly towards goal. It's a little too high, though, and floats comfortably over the crossbar.
And this is the exact reason why Coach Desri opted to come through with Nomvula this evening, to make sure that even in long-range areas, she has the ability to get a good shot into the goalkeeper, but unfortunately this one, goalkeeper not forced for a save.
Rabbit looks for Ayan, and that's just a little too strong for the Tottenham striker. Reading born. Quick and lethal. While she scored twice in Morocco's final warm-up game against Ghana, she's sort of failed to spark at this tournament. While she scored from the penalty mark in the 3-1 win over Uganda, she's not really found her scoring boots in the way that many expected. But she is undoubtedly gifted. As Asane is down under an awkward challenge from Tugnaut. It's been part of the setup now for almost 10 years. The debut against Zimbabwe back in 2014. The debut against Zimbabwe. Jermaine Supersinwe famously made her debut against Zimbabwe 12 days after turning 17 and scored on debut. Suddenly, everyone took note. Here's Shibak charging forward. She's left Sukusima behind. South Africa have possession back, but it's illegally done. We're going to see a caution here for Ramalepe, who's not unaccustomed to seeing yellow cards, and every so often discipline does get the better of her.
Ramalepe here just really caught. I think she got there late into that tackle, but also it was just a lunge, very aggressive. And the referee saw a bit of fault, and I think for Ramalepe, she always constantly has to know where the likes of Tagnaout are, because they want to create those spaces just to lure her into committing. And unfortunately, this one she committed, and she ended up with a foul.
Ended up with a foul. Somebody who was part of the team of the tournament in 2018 was Ramalepe, who goes back to Dlamini here. It's Nukumatlo. There's very little between the sides at the moment. South Africa having a couple of shots at goal, but none on target. Possession-wise is effectively 50-50. Maybe that'll change here. Lovely ball in for Mahaya. Looks for goal. Ermici with a fine save to deny Banyana the opening strike. The ball cleared away by Nisreen El-Shad. Now Msuri. Opportunity to make use of transition ball here. It is Ayane. Very little support. Saud is sprinting up towards the danger area. Down goes Ayane. Play on, says the referee. Much to the annoyance and frustration of this crowd. Kwale comes away with possession after a little challenge with Msudi. And that'll be a free kick. First, referee Salima Mukasanga, though, is going to deal with the situation by checking on Rosella Ayan.
A possible hand to the face.
This is the move by South Africa on the opposite side. Sukusima with that lovely little through ball for Mahaya.
And this is the great ability that the South Africans have. Once they get into that final third, they are very quick in their speed. It's all just a matter of straight and looking at goals.
Khadija Ermici, somebody who's pulled off a fine save to deny South Africa. South African players have made their way to their own technical area. Rosella Ayan is back on her feet. Morocco fans, as of now, looking a little at the ready, expecting something to come. South Africa steering the ball into a forward position. A little tug off the ball here, and Mahaya's seen the free kick awarded to her. So South Africa in a fairly dangerous position here. It's relatively straight down the centre, but the captain Shabak with a cynical foul.
Shabak has been a little frustrated in the game, really, and things are not really. She's not able to connect with midfielders and passes, and that's why she's forced into dropping into defense to try and assist her teammates, and therefore just causing unnecessary fouls. And I think this is an opportunity for the South Africans to capitalize.
Mahaya stands over this. She scored against Nigeria in that 2-1 win. She scored on her debut against Lesotho, you may recall, back in February of 2018. Exciting player, and somebody who hopes one day to play for Chelsea. In Rosella Ayan, she's up against somebody who has played for Chelsea and won titles with Chelsea. We're into the 40th minute. Kwale is not taking this one. It's Mahaya, currently based in Korea. Mahaya might go directly a goal, and tries but finds her effort off target. South Africa again seeking the opening goal, but striking wide.
Makai here just really trying to bend it with that left foot. You could tell by the technique that she was just going for that top corner, but unfortunately just drags this one quite wide.
Rabet. It's a lovely diagonal ball that picks out Tagnaoud. It's taken a few South Africans out of play, so too is Tagnaoud. A lovely interplay here between the Moroccan players. Ayan it was, kept in play by Redouane and Tagnaoud, but ultimately comes to nothing for the Atlas Lionesses. And Pedros closes in his thinking man position. 40 minutes have come and gone, goalless it stays. This is the Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. Morocco against South Africa. Morocco through Ayane in possession. Somebody who's won the league and indeed the Women's FA Cup with Chelsea. Tagnaoud, little cutback. Ayane has pushed her effort wide. It's a first shot at goal by Morocco.
Tagnaoud at the centre of it all, once again just getting in that cutback, but unfortunately it was just behind of Ayana, who really tried to stretch out and get it to go. But another nerve-wracking moment for the South Africans.
Well, defensively, the last couple of passages of play, South Africa have looked a little torn apart. Speed of Redouane, Tagnaoud and indeed Ayana just dropping back a little.
I think that's one of the reasons why the coach always opts to have her, even though she hasn't been scoring as many goals. Just the ability of creating those spaces through her runs and movements. And I think she has contributed to the team's success up to so far.
Here's Mahaya to put Ermishi under a little pressure, and she's done exactly that. Rabet looking to tidy up, and has done so comfortably. Here's El Shad, who's giving chase. Looking to keep this ball in play. Ermishi. She's already made a fine save to deny South Africa a chance. And somebody who already has a triple save and 2 double saves at this tournament. She's going to be difficult to beat. And so too, well, South Africa's Andile Dlamini. Both goalkeepers having only conceded twice. Goal kick that'll be. Asane being kept a little quiet this evening by Morocco.
It's been a little bit difficult for Asane this evening, having to really be able to assist the likes of Ramalepe, because the pressure indeed and the attack is normally for the Moroccans down on the left.
Ermishi tries to go left. It's Tassano who picks up on it. She's got Redouane immediately in front of her. She's got Khwale as a little bit of an outlet. She's opted to go all the way back to Ramalepe. This match threatening to go to half-time goalless. Linda Butlalo has other ideas. As Jermaine Supasenwe stayed on side. No, the flag has gone up.
Supasenwe just caught offside there. I think for the South Africans, it's just a matter of moving the ball a lot quicker. As you see, again, this cutback from Tagnaoud. My biggest concern, though, has to be that Ayana isn't marked and that the South African defense is always just caught quite late. But I think with the stroke of halftime, it will give them an opportunity to go and restructure.
Elodie Nakash. Referee says play on here as Khwale looks to chase this ball down. It comes ricocheting off her shins as Rabet clears. Morocco throw. Here's where Ellis watching on. Somebody who's a massive fan of cooking programs, and right now, no doubt, a little a little tense in this final. She might be hoping to watch a cooking program, back to the kitchen, try out a recipe or two, which is one of her favorite pastimes. But this is a cauldron, and Israelis is up for the challenge, undoubtedly. So to Pedros. Just a little too high for Ayan, but Tugno looks to keep this ball in play, and does so brilliantly. Electrifying pace from the star winger inside that 18-yard area. South African defenders hoping to stay on their feet, wanting to stay on their feet. Bane initially with the challenge, and Tsane helping out. In the end, it's out for the corner kick. The Atlas Lionesses, are they about to roar? Moments before half-time, we hit the 45-minute mark. A minute of time has been added on, and the final play set to be a set piece. The kind of play that Morocco have dominated from throughout this tournament. Shabak. Delivery is low and flat, and Supasenwe uses her height again to steer this ball away. Time effectively done in this opening half, Amanda, but what's your take quickly on this opening 45?
Very tactical first half, Dwayne. Both teams just really making sure they stick to their game plan. Perfectly executed with minimal of chances for both teams. And we're just hoping for a much, much more exciting second half.
With that, the end of this opening half. Two sides that have come to play, but two sides that have thwarted one another's ability. Both have imposed themselves to a certain extent on the other. Morocco 0, South Africa 0 at half-time in this final. Elodie Nakash, Jermaine Supasenwe, some of the standouts of the opening half.
See, I was pissed at you. I was mad too. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I know I did to love has been paid. Don't just wake up your child. Wake up the champion in them. Give them energy.
Welcome back to the Prince Mullah Abdullah Stadium in Rabat. It is Morocco against South Africa who meet in the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. There is a small band of South African supporters, but a very large stadium packed to capacity, full of Moroccan supporters who are hoping with every fibre of their being that Morocco are crowned champions come the end of this evening. We've seen a goalless opening half, however, between these two sides. And there is much hope and expectation on the shoulders of the Moroccan players. But for South Africa, who are full of ability and capability, they're a side that are aiming to produce the goods in a fifth final for Banyana down the years, having lost in 2000, having lost in 2008, having lost in 2012, and then having played to a goalless draw through 120 minutes against Nigeria in 2018 at the last championship, eventually falling on penalties to the 9-time champions. We're just about set for the second half between these two sides. There doesn't seem to be any indication that there are going to be any changes at half-time. Yermishi with her superstition, just spraying a little water on the goal line before she starts. Players have a tendency to be rather superstitious. Maybe we'll get the views of Amanda Dlamini on that. Second half is underway here at the Prince Mullah Abdullah Stadium in Rabat. This Women's Africa Cup of Nations final between Morocco and South Africa. Morocco in the green and red up against South Africa in the green and gold. As these two sides battle for glory. They battle to become champions. Neither one has been defeated at this championship. South Africa 5 wins from 5, and Morocco having made it 4 wins from 4 before their draw against Nigeria that they ultimately advanced to the final on, courtesy of penalties against the 9-time champions. Here's Ramalepe. Back to Mbane. Ball out to Nokumotlo early. But Amanda Dlamini, the former Banyana captain, sits alongside for this evening's tie. And Amanda, are you surprised there were no half-time substitutions?
Not at all, Dwayne. I think coaches normally, in such a tactical game, will want to wait it out a bit. Even though the conversation in the change room, they've already set up their first sub, second sub, even in their third sub. But usually they'd want to keep that consistency in the team for a very long time.
There's Makhaya looking to go past Ait El Haj, a delivery in towards Ramishi, but she's able to snaffle the ball and deny South Africa an opportunity. Spare Morocco blushes. Makhaya, though, is proving to be a bit of a thorn in the side of Morocco. She's growing in confidence as well.
She does really well to run at defenders on that line, to try and get in those crosses. Jermaine just really arriving late.
Well, out towards the near side, but that ball not kept in play. It'll be a throw in to Banyana. Ramishi. She's a very good all-round goalkeeper, but her distribution is an area where she is perhaps lacking. Here's Tesane, turns on El Shad. Tesane now tries a shot at goal. Mrabet gets her body in the way. Tesane showing her ability to move without very much space around her. Here's Khwale. Pass is blocked. Tesane, though, is one possession back from Tagnaout and looks for a ball into the path of Refilwe Jane, who is making a charging run through the centre. Now Morocco look to hit back. And then Ait El Haj. Nakash has possession. Tagnaout back inside to Shabak, who was making a fantastic run through the centre. Here's Shabak, lovely ball into the path of Sanam Sudi, but it's swept away by Nokumotlo. Up to Jermaine Supasenwe, who looks to go with pace around the outside of El Shad. Supasenwe, driven ball into the 18-yard area, but it is a comfortable catch for goalkeeper Ramishi. Not great use of ball on the counter-attack from South Africa.
The South Africans just really capitalizing on the turnover with Jermaine's speed. I think the defenders really now know that if it is that she gets the ball cut wide, she'll always make sure that she leaves you for speed. And just in that instance, she just lost a bit of balance and a bit of power in terms of the accuracy in trying to convert.
She scored against the only other North African side present at this Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations, the winner against Tunisia. 14th minute strike from Jermaine Supasenwe, ran onto a through ball and slotted home beyond the hapless goalkeeper. A series of CAF football presidents and dignitaries have graced us with their presence. The heads of all 54 member associations of the Confederation of African Football are here and have been since the CAF Awards held 2 days ago. An awards that Senegal was the major winner at, claiming 5 awards in total, including Men's Player of the Year and Men's Coach of the Year. And Desiree Ellis was seated between the 2 winners, Sadio Mane and Aliou Cisse, for the awards ceremony. And they were the first to congratulate Reynald Pedros, who was nominated. And Desiree Ellis took the crown for the 3rd time in her career. No women's football was about at schools when Desiree Ellis was growing up. And now a 59-year-old coach. She played hockey and netball at school. Outside of school was also a very fine cricket player. And then got into football, and so began a sterling career. 5 minutes down in the second half, both these sides have showed attacking intent. Neither of these sides has genuinely threatened their opponent's goal. Mbane. Salo had possession for a moment, but Sanam Sudi quite emphatically snatched possession away. Then Super Senwe. Nasrin El Shad. Very dangerous from set pieces. Here's Redouane. Gets past Tsane. Gets away from Kwale, who recovers nicely to get a touch on that ball. Just interrupt the Moroccan flow. Throw in taken as far as Zayan. Up against Mbane. Oh, lovely pass into the path of Tagnaout. Now, turning that ball around, finds her captain through the centre of the park, and that's going to be easily intercepted by Karabou Dlamini. Mrabet. Well, centre-back is making a rollicking run into South African territory here. And then Delhaj. A rare foray into Banyana territory from the right full-back. Klalo going down off the ball, free kick South Africa.
Mutlalo there just being muscled off the ball, and the referee sees a foul. But the South Africans certainly doing their bit in terms of dropping deep enough to assist the defenders, just to remain compact. And I think the instruction from the coaches has been to really find Jermaine as that outlet for them to go through. But the Moroccans certainly as organized, very compact, always close enough to each other, and always just looking for that break.
Speaking of breaks, Super Senwe looking to make one here. Kwale. Sanam Sudi has just disrupted South African midfield's possession throughout this game, and she's done so spectacularly well and with a great frequency. Jane for possession against Nakash, recovered by Kwale, now back to Ramalepe. I suppose much of the question is, will the team that wins this tournament be the team with the greatest weight of genuine ability, the one most capable of expressing its own brilliance, or the one that is best prepared and producing what needs to be done to win a championship match? It has been so tactical. Ramishi. There's Mrabet. Morocco spending a little more time deliberately on the ball in this second half. They might be taking their time about getting the ball away, but I think there's a decision-making process that is going on. And then Eitel Haj. Simone Saoud. Included for her ability, no doubt, to run at opposing defenders, but she's had very little chance to do so in this game. Eitel Haj, though, is in a position where she might well be caught out of position. So we are set to see the first change, and it's not surprising we're seeing Samia Hassani with the tracksuit top off. Mrabet. Saoud couldn't control this ball. Karabou Dlamini with a little touch forward, then swept away by Eitel Haj. And Saoud might be the player to make way, and indeed she is. As the board comes up, Samia Hassani, based in Belgium, born in Netherlands, is making her way on for Iman Saoud, who was born in Casablanca but grew up in France. Now, a little problem here for Redouane. Medical attention is being brought on immediately. 10 minutes gone in the second half. The substitution having just been made, but there is genuine concern here over Redouane. Mansoud makes her way along the boundary line. Back to the bench. Israel is trying to encourage her players as they gather around the technical area. Moroccan supporters. A good cheer. Mamajoy Chauke is central above the South African flag. This venue packed to capacity. We're into the second half. The goal is yet to be scored. There is a little concern here over the injury to what looks to be Redouane, and we might have to see a change coming for Morocco. Medical teams both on the pitch. The neutral medical team, emergency responders, and indeed the medical staff of Morocco. The fans watch on. There is so much hope all around Morocco, and certainly in Rabat. We had a sense today, making their way to the venue, that absolutely everybody, even those who were not making their way to the venue, were clad in the colours of Morocco. They were filled with hope and expectation. Applauded. And she's stretched it off the pitch here. There's the Morocco fullback, and she's lifting her arm. And this is a massive blow for Morocco. It seems Redouane is not going to take any further part in this game. Women of the match in the 3-1 win over Uganda. And Chihiri is not only warming up, but has got the top off and ready to play. Play gets back underway though with a drop ball that Ramici has under control. President Patrice Motsepe among those watching on, and Tony Jordan and Fawzi Lekja sitting alongside one another, the heads of the respective federations competing here tonight, the Royal Moroccan Football Federation and South African Football Association. Over the top, Kwal is making a run. Goal is through 58 minutes in this tie. And that'll be a Morocco throw. Substitution to take place. And Zinab Redouane. Ghizlan Chihiri is on in her place. As Zinab Redouane. Well, for me, undoubtedly, team of the tournament fullback. She can play left back, she can play right back, but she's stunned with her performances playing as a left back. Going down to ground. South Africa have possession through Jane, who's been marshalled by Sanam Sudi. It's Jane again. Ayane Onu. This is asking a great deal of Tessane, and indeed she can't reach it. Tessane fast and flashy, but there has been a fair amount of criticism in terms of her goal scoring. And she recognises that she needs to score more. It's an area she's been working on. You sometimes feel caught up in the moments on the pitch, and decision-making becomes a problem in heated moments.
I don't know if it's getting caught in the moment. It's just one of those things that players on the park not generally do. But I think for a player like Tessane, she's one player who still needs to learn with the kind of experience that she'll gain, just the consistency of the game, the consistency of decision-making, and just the techniques of just passing. And I think she has great ability in her.
An hour has come and gone, goal remains. Yeah, I mean, Tessane's ability is in question, but somebody who has found herself in a spot of bother from time to time. Oh, there might be some trouble here. The referee is happy to allow play to continue. played back towards the Moroccan defensive area and trying to keep this ball in play. South Africa have done so. Here's Mutlalo. A little bit of space for Jane. Can't get a shot away. Tagno just stolen that ball. Hiri. Here's Nakash. And now a little space opening up for Morocco's passing game to flourish. Into that danger area, Hassani. Cut back is good, but South Africa's defence stands firm. Kwale. Now a counter-attack potentially. Supasenwe is making a fine run. Mahaya is looking to pick her out, and indeed she does. Brabetta's come across. Supasenwe. Space for Jane. The sun is breaking into that 18-yard area. Can't pick her out, and that's a very good interception by the Morocco captain, Shibak. Completely broke up the South African counter. Mutalo down again. Frees his play on. Shibak. Sudi. Back to Nakash. Shad. Trying to squeeze that out to Chihiri. New player on. Chihiri. She's only played one match this tournament so far, and much is expected of her as she comes off the bench to replace the injured Ridwani. There's Hassani searching for a ball towards Msuri, and that's lovely from Bambanani Mbani. And a ball that might very well meet with Supasenwe, who's inside the 18-yard area. Stays on her feet here, Supasenwe. She's got two players to pick out. South Africa have the opening goal of this final. It's come just beyond the hour mark, and Hilda Mahaya has tapped it home, her second goal of the tournament. She scored against Nigeria. She's now scored in the final. And for the first time in a Women's Africa Cup of Nations final, South Africa lead. They never led in 2000, they never led in 2008, in 2012 they were always behind, and in 2018 they did not score. But in 2022, South Africa are in front, and it has come through persistence. Supasenwe staying on her feet here superbly, and then Mahaya, right place, right time, slots it home fairly comfortably, but the hard work already done.
A great build-up leading up to that goal with the likes of Bambanani Mbane just collecting the second ball, making sure that she drives the ball all the way through to Jermaine Supasenwe, who I think with her pace and their partnership with Mahaya, they always have one up their sleeves. And perfect timing, perfect execution, and well converted by Hilda.
The pained expression from Hanan Eid Al-Hajj, but the absolute joy. Mbane played her part in that goal. And now the crowd on their feet. They are baying for blood. They are hoping to encourage Morocco to a response. Only the second goal South Africa has ever scored in a WAFCON final. Noko Matlo scored a then equaliser in 2008 before South Africa lost 2-1 to Equatorial Guinea. Mahaya has scored the other. It currently has South Africa in front for the first time in a final at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. It might be an intimidating cauldron, and there's still plenty of football to be played, but South Africa have not been overwhelmed by the harsh welcome that they received at this venue. Mutlalo, Supasenwe, just so composed in possession. Hoale looks forward towards Mahaya, who's again looking to apply pressure on the fullback, Eid Al-Hajj. Jane. El-Shad and Supasenwe come together. Play on is the call. Here's Msudi. She looks for Tagnaout, and will pick her out beautifully. Left foot. And a dangerous left foot at that. Ramalepe needs to be careful. She's already on a yellow card. Shebak's ball into the area is deflected kindly for Dlamini. And with 20 minutes down in the second half, South Africa lead, courtesy of Hilda Mahaya's goal. Rigobert Song among the dignitaries that watch on. The VVIPs. Directly behind him, Togo's great Emmanuel Adebayor. Among the highest scoring Africans in the Premier League. Hassani. Well, this has certainly brought the crowd to life. They've quietened down for a brief moment, but there's plenty of enthusiasm and vigour in the crowd yet. Desraelis is looking more animated in the technical area, though, than we've seen her throughout the opening hour and a bit. Here's Machaya, the goal scorer. Hoale, Jane. Ramalepe looks to feed for Tesane, and that'll be a Morocco throw. Hilda Machaya, player of the tournament in the COSAFA Women's Championships just 2 years ago. Concern here for Hoale, it is. Down for South Africa. Philo Jane, taking her responsibility as captain seriously, sprints over to see and check on the condition. But this is the grand moment.
This is indeed the grand moment. Jermaine Seopesenwe does really well to stay on her feet. A brilliant cutback to Hilda, who just, her timing is just absolutely perfect, just to slot that one home for the South Africans.
And Jermaine Seopesenwe stays on her feet. Watch this, Mrabet gets a good touch. That ball's going out of play. Seopesenwe stays on her feet, keeps it in play, and then sets it up for Machaya. There were two South Africans charging into attacking positions, and a perfect pass from Seopesenwe and set up what is so far the only goal of this final. South Africa have not conceded in over 6.5 hours of game time. Not since they conceded the 30th minute goal against Burundi in their 3-1 win in their second group game have they conceded a goal. They conceded against Nigeria late on, and they conceded against Burundi. But not against Botswana, nor against Tunisia in the quarterfinals, nor against Zambia in the semi-finals. So far, not against Morocco in the final. As Flamini shows her intent to win back possession. I can tell you that Holosibiana has her shin pads in and is ready to make her way onto the pitch as Shibak sends a lovely ball into the path of Chihiri. And Flamini plucks that out of the air and holds onto the ball as if it is the most precious thing in the world. On the right of your screen, the likes of Rigobert Song and Emmanuel Adebayor. Mercy Akide among those watching on. One of the all-time greats in Nigeria. When you mention Mercy Akide, you mention Perpetua Ngocha, and in the current generation, Asisat Oshoala. Free kick goes South Africa's way. Jane down. And with that, we'll see the substitution for South Africa.
For South Africa, number 14, Mapula Gwali. Out, number 19, Rosa Biana In.
So Holosibiana has made her way in for Nomvula Hoale, who brought that physicality to the midfield, who tried the shots from range and played her part before looking like she was feeling a little uncomfortable on the pitch through some cramp. So South Africa's first substitution. 20 minutes of football to be played in this final. Maybe a little bit of a hamstring concern there for Hoale. Treated by the medical staff after a way on. What does Pedros do for Morocco? Possession might be nearly equal, Amanda, but the stats say that one team has used their possession significantly better than the other.
Yep, and it's important for the South Africans with a little less position.
Here's a chance for a second! South African lead by 2-0 in this final, and Hilda Machaya is now joint leading scorer in this tournament. In the space of 10 minutes, she scored twice, and this final has been brought to life in the most dramatic fashion. As South Africa did against Nigeria by stunning their opponents with 2 quick goals, they've done the same in the final, and Morocco are trailing by a double. Seopesenwe involved again. Dlamini keeps this ball in play. And then to Machaya after El Shad tried to block that ball.
El Shad just caught there with the anticipation, with the ball just bouncing and skidding off her. But of course, Hilda always just lurking in that box to make sure that she picks up the pieces. A forced error, but yet again, the South Africans keep imposing themselves.
South Africa imposing themselves on their opponents now. This game is opening up, and it needs to open up for both Morocco and South Africa. South Africa have a cushion goal. They have a little bit of something to fall back onto, but they find themselves now 18 minutes away from claiming glory after 4 previous heartbreaks in a final. And Amanda, you know all too well what it's like, and you know all too well what it must be like for the Moroccan players at the moment. They must surely still believe they can work their way back into this final, but this is going to be tough.
I think the Moroccans really met their match, and in that respectfully saying so. A very well organized South African side, a team that also loves to have ball possession, to rotate the ball, get those combinations. They play similar styles, but it's just, I think, the matter of energy. The Moroccans just seem to not have the necessary steam in today's game, hence the tempo of the game, which was more at the walking pace.
Well, speaking of walking, I can tell you that there are throngs of people that are filing their way out of the venue. They are Morocco fans that believe this game is done as they make their way out of the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium here in Rabat. The only team to have won all their matches so far at WAFCON are now leading by 2-0 in the final. Seopesenwe with the ball forward. Jane. Back to Seopesenwe in a little bit of space. Can she add to the goal tally? Tesane is going to be offside, but she goes around the outside, looks to tee up a teammate. And Fulusa Biana's effort has gone beyond Ermishi. And indeed, the offside flag eventually raised.
The offside flag eventually raised, but a beautiful run from Nokolo Tesane just to creep in behind as the third man running. But the assistant referee noted that one very well. Concerns once again for the Moroccan defense, who just seem not to be able to track the South African attacking 3, with Jermaine Seopesenwe doing ever so well to just drop into those pockets of spaces to allow Hilda as well as Nokolo Tesane to bomb up forward.
Well, we spoke about Morocco needing to do something, and it looks like they've got the former captain Najat Badri making herself available and readying to make her way onto the pitch as Jane traps this ball. And now looks to sprint upfield. Biana works the ball out wide into the path of Machaya, who's sitting on a hat-trick. Would not be the first hat-trick in a final. Bertrand Gorcha has previously achieved that, but there's still 15 minutes for Machaya to write her name in history in neon lights. Seopesenwe, Biana, Dlamini, 15 minutes to play. Half an hour done in the second half. South Africa leading by 2-0. Jane. A little tug of the jersey there from Jane, and free kick is awarded to Morocco. So we are going to see a double substitution for Renal Pedros. And he's bringing on Najat Badri, the experienced midfielder who wears number 10, and the incredibly dangerous Ibtissam Jaraidi. Ibtissam Jaraidi makes her way on for Sanam Sudi, while Elodie Nakash makes way for Badri. Ibtissam Jaraidi has just clinched her 4th golden boot of the Moroccan domestic league, having scored 32 goals this season. And now she has been given a run for a little shy of 15 minutes in the hopes that she can find not just one, but at least 2. Or at least help Morocco to work their way back into this game. Morocco needs 3 goals to win it from here, 2 goals to force extra time. But Morocco, having conceded twice in the entire tournament, have now conceded twice in the space of 10 minutes against South Africa. South Africa holding on to possession here, looking to deflate their opponents. Viana, back to Dlamini. Somebody who's often leading the side in song. She's recorded a couple of songs as well. A gospel song and a song as well about women's football and Banyana Banyana. A wonderful voice, and you can only imagine what the singing is going to be come the end of this tie if South Africa do hold on and claim the title. Here's Badri. Back to Ait El Haj, Shebak. Here's Chupasinwe. Viana, back with Chupasinwe. Hilda Machaya has scored twice in the space of 10 minutes of this second half, in what is only her 3rd appearance at this tournament. Fatima Tagnaout throws her head back in disappointment. Here's Shebak. But this is potentially life-changing for both these sides. South Africa currently have one hand on the trophy and will ready themselves to receive their gold medals. And it's genuinely life-changing for these players. If they lose in the final, they'll claim 55,000 Rand bonus. If they win this final, they will win 400,000 Rand each. That's the equivalent of around about 24,000 US dollars. The bonus is there. Amanda Dlamini. None of the players, though, claim they were focusing on the money at all. This is about winning the gold medal.
I think the South Africans have been to the final for so many times, and it would be so rewarding if they win the trophy.
Lovely chance here for Morocco. Can Tagnaout get them back in? Great chance! Morocco are fighting their way back in here. Rosella Ayane gets her first goal from open play in this tournament. And South Africa, trying to keep it composed at the back, have found themselves caught on the break by a rampant Morocco, who are trying to inspire themselves after the crowd had gone quiet. But the stadium utterly enlivened again as Ayane gets her 2nd of the tournament.
Ayane once again just showing up at the right time. South Africans just a lapse in concentration, dispossessed in their own half, and the Moroccans punish them. But once again, great vision from the likes of Tagnaout, just to get in there, give that cross back, and Ayane says thank you.
Ayane with a fine goal, that capped off a magnificent move from Morocco. Jaraidi heavily involved, Tagnaout with the square ball, and then the finish from the England-based striker. This game is not yet done.
It's far from over. It's far from over. The kind of joy, the kind of belief. I think that was a lifeline for the Moroccans that just completely erupted the stadium. Now it's for the South Africans just to implement their game management strategies to see if it is that they can hold on for the 90 minutes.
Zilayane asks for a little water. She was deliberately kept on by Ronald Pedros, and she has repaid the faith shown in her by scoring at such a critical moment in a critical phase of this game. 9 minutes to play plus added time, and for South Africa it's the goal scorer Machaya who has been stretchered off here. There's chance of ole around this venue. Morocco need 2 to send this game to extra time. They've found one. The South African flag still waves, but the roar from the stadium is significant, and they are smelling blood now. South Africa are going to make a change. Melinda Khadiete is readying herself to come on. This is anxiety-provoking for the South African fans. So too for the Morocco fans. South Africa still in the best position, leading by a goal. Machaya is not yet off the stretcher. South Africa have 10 players on the pitch, and Morocco wanting to capitalise. 8 minutes to play. Shabak, Chkhiri, in behind the striker's line. Zeraidi can finish. Can she find a finish here? Looks to tee it up for Tugnaut. Ramalepe just hoofs the ball away. And with that, we'll see the substitution for South Africa. It is Machaya who will not return to the pitch. Khadiete is on in her place. Zilayane, the apologetic hand up after colliding with Dlamini.
It does get a bit physical, and the emotions tend to be a bit high in these closing stages, especially when you're chasing a game.
Andile Dlamini works this ball out wide. Nobody there to pick it up. Desiree Ellis against Renaud Pedros. South Africa against Morocco. A night to remember. Morocco looking to finish strong, and they've certainly got their tails up. Tugnaut has been emphatically brilliant. Zeraidi, too strong. Goal kick it'll be. Pedros willing his players forward, wishing for a goal that'll see this match go to extra time. How much more drama do we have in this second half? The first half, an incredibly tactical affair between two sides that were showing their technical ability on the ball and tactical prowess on the pitch. The second half, far more open, free-flowing, and 3 goals. 2 to South Africa, 1 to Morocco. Rabet. Hassani. A lofted ball behind the South African defence, who put under pressure here. Nukumatlo steers it as far away from her goal as she possibly can. Up to Khadiete. Up against 3 Moroccan players, she gets the pass away. Viana. 5 minutes to go to the 90-minute mark. It is 2-1 to South Africa. Morocco have back the possession that they wanted. Badri's pass just in behind Tagnout, while for South Africa, concern again for Banyana with another player down, this time Supasinwe. Medical attention being summoned, but this a glorious moment for Morocco. How about Tagnout?
Tagnout just chooses the better option. That is always to try and give a free pass to a free player. And this time around, the weight of the pass, the precision of the pass, Ayana just comes in very nicely to slot in, and that has really given the Moroccans some sort of faith just to really try and fight their way back.
Absolutely. Sofia Bouftini, a midfielder from Royal Armed Forces, among those trying to cheer on her teammates, get them across the line for a second goal. Throw in taken quickly by Morocco. Here's Shibak. Morocco are finishing strongest. Hassani looking to take on Karabo Dlamini, and Dlamini stands firm. My word, Karabo Dlamini, an excitable character she is when she's not on the pitch, and somebody I can tell you is wanting to become a YouTuber. She's often interviewing her teammates. Can you imagine the interviews that'll go on behind the scenes if South Africa win? And can you imagine what she'll be like at the FIFA Women's World Cup? Both these sides having qualified. Here's Morocco. Traide looking dangerous. This ball squirts into a position where Ayane could have latched onto it, but for the intervention by Biana. Another quick throw for Morocco. Tagnout has made herself available to receive from the throw. Chiri into Shebak. Linda Mutlalo squeezes that ball away. Here's Badri. Hanan Ait El Haj. Morocco threaten here. Ayane! And that'll be a false strike. Gave Morocco a glimmer of hope, but ultimately a missed chance, and South Africa survive what is proving to be a late onslaught here. Maybe a little too relaxed after going 2 goals up.
Just a little too relaxed. As we see this opportunity once again, Mbane does really well to put herself in front of Ayana just to give a bit of pressure, but poorly executed at the end of the move.
Morocco are motivated. They want to win on home soil. Delivery in here looks wonderful again, and so inviting. It might fall kindly for Tagnout, who's got a very, very dangerous left-footed shot and packs an awfully lot of power into her efforts. A free kick goes South Africa's way. Referee will go to check on Mbane. Tagnout just a little physical, a little shove from behind. But that's the earlier chance. They came to this tournament to book a place in the FIFA Women's World Cup as their first objective, South Africa. But they undoubtedly came to claim gold. And they're moments away now. We hit the 90-minute mark. 4 minutes of time has been added on.
9 minutes.
Well, the board says 9 minutes. It was initially announced as 4, but 9 minutes of time has been added on here. Morocco are looking most threatening. There was a serious injury concern for initially Redouane, and a fair amount of added time has been laid on at the end of this tie. Just adding to the fervour of the fans who are baying for blood and glory. Ermishi, forward to Mrabet. Play on, says the referee initially, and then a free kick awarded to Morocco. Tugnaout will step up to feed this one in. Zelayane having won the set piece. Renaud Bedros, tactically astute coach. Andile Dlamini, will she be tested? Morocco so dangerous from set pieces. Delivery here from Tugnaout. Dlamini's come out. Has she been fouled? Referee says yes. Now, Ibtisam Drady has come out and wagged a finger at Salima Mukusanga, who's not the kind of referee that you do that to. Andile Dlamini having gone up for it. The collision with El Shad. Reactions of disbelief and disappointment from Morocco. South Africa survive a set piece. They still lead by 2-1. There are some empty seats around. After South Africa went 2 goals up, a handful of supporters stood up and left the venue. But Morocco fought back valiantly. Oh, it's a Moroccan fan dressed in yellow. South African fans, though, clad in Safa colours, the green and gold. Dlamini back on her feet. South Africa to get the ball back into play. Bambanani Mbane. She's a defender, but I love the fact that when she went to Belarus and joined Dinamo Minsk, in just her 3rd game she scored a hat-trick. Bambanani Mbane. Doesn't happen often for defenders.
No, it certainly doesn't, but Bambanani is one of those players that certainly always have a good eye for goal. If it is that she's not playing in defense, she does have the abilities to play in midfield.
Lovely ball through here. It's too strong, though, by a very dangerous Drady. Ibtisam Drady. I'm a little surprised she's sitting as deep as she is at the moment, but when you consider the combination of Tugnaout and Ayan, maybe that is a deliberate ploy. It was Drady who fed the ball to Tugnaout, who squared it for Ayane to score. 5 minutes of added time remains. South Africa leading by a goal. Shebak. Towards Hassani. Karawat Dlamini looking to get on the end of it. Nukumatlo knocks it up to the halfway line, but it's fallen kindly for Khadiete here. Here's Siposenwe. Breaks into Moroccan territory. Mrabet. Shebak. Fouled. Free kick Morocco. Now, out of screen, a little bit of pushing and shoving going on. Here's Siposenwe again for South Africa. Down she goes. Play on is the call. Khadiete. Khadiete up against 3 Morocco players. She's got very little support. The sun is there. Shebak has come away with possession. Here's Shiri. Up towards Drady, scooped away by Mbane. Well, if we thought there was going to be tired legs and fatigued minds on the pitch, you're in for a surprise, because this is as intense as it gets. It is high tempo, high octane action.
This is intense as it gets. At this point in time, it's just a matter of fighting the mind to coordinate with those tired legs, but it's always the execution of making sure that you implement what is necessary.
Tesane squeezes that ball up into Moroccan territory. Michi out of her area. Rabet calling for it. There's three-player front line for Morocco up towards Ayan. Tugnout is chasing this one, but it's Ramalepe who's knocked it away. Chiri into a danger area here, and referee says free kick South Africa. Well, you cannot say that this is not a brilliant advert for women's football. Now, play is not getting back underway immediately. We've got 7 minutes of added time that has been played. Shebak wins possession. Here's Hassani. Hanan Eidelhaj. Lovely delivery into the danger area. Morocco trying to find their way through again. And Jane has steered it away, only as far as Badri, who has Shebak on her outside. South Africa scrambling. Desane clears. Morocco back into a danger area here, and the header is just wide. Closing moments. A moment of glory potentially for Mrabet, who's already scored a winning goal at this tournament. But not to be. Bongeka Gamed is making her way on very late in this piece as she comes on to replace Notlolok Lesane. But the substitution that has just been brought up is being put on hold here because South Africa's got an injured player down inside the 18-yard area. The fourth official, Maria Rive, has pulled Gamede back, and Tesane stays on for now. Closing moments of this Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. Morocco against South Africa. The second half has been a superb advertisement for women's football on the continent. That is it. That is the final whistle. South Africa, after 5 attempts, have finally claimed glory in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations final. They achieve immortality as they claim their first title in the WAFCON. Morocco are defeated for the first time in the tournament. South Africa march on, but Morocco outmatched, outclassed, outplayed. South Africa out of this world. They are champions for the first time. Machaya's brace and Ayane's consolation goal, ultimately the 3 goals scored in the second half, but it is delight and glory and cheer and joy, celebration and elation for South Africa, but feel for Morocco playing in front of their home crowd. They are crestfallen, they are crushed, they are disconsolate. This has been a great moment of anguish. It was built up to be a moment of glory for Morocco, and it has fallen flat for the team late on. It is Morocco who fall to the ground in disappointment. There is tears of anguish for Morocco, but absolute tears of joy from the South Africans. The fans who came out in numbers were superb. They added such gloss to this tournament. But ultimately, it will not be Morocco's night. It is South Africa's night. They are champions of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Amanda Thamini, just take us through the final moments.
Absolutely unbelievable. Very well deserved for the South Africans. First time ever of so many tries, coming second best every single time. When the time is right, the opportunity presents itself, you have to make sure you maximize. I'm so super proud of the South Africans, super proud of the Moroccans. A great spectacle of women's football.
A fantastic spectacle of women's football. It has ended in favour of South Africa by 2-1. There are still many moments to be had. Sanam Suri, crestfallen after this. For South Africa, still celebrations. Jermaine Supasenwe, Kaylen Swart. But it was Hilda Machaya's strikes that separated these sides ultimately. Desane gets to celebrate. She is a champion of the continent. And she's only 21. Linda Mutlalo. There was a great deal of belief that she would be a champion. Indeed she is. Saba Sergir. The tears for the Moroccan players. Linda Mutlalo and Desiree Ellis celebrating. Andy Letlamini and Jermaine Supasenwe celebrating together. But tonight, one needed to win, and for the other, there was going to be pain of finishing second in a tournament at which they have been absolutely superb. Neither one of these sides, you could argue, were not deserving of the title had they won. But tonight is South Africa's night, and they will celebrate long and hard after this victory.
كأس إفريقيا للسيدات 3 مرات وأول لاعبة للبطولة في تاريخ المسابقة.
Ladies and gentlemen, the trophy of the Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations will now be...
So the trophy is about to make its way out onto the pitch. And Mercy Akide of Nigeria is making her way onto the pitch. The great Nigerian carries the trophy out while the Moroccan side try to console themselves. South Africa still celebrating. But Mercy Akide, I can tell you out of screen, has brought the Women's Africa Cup of Nations trophy to a pedestal from which it'll be handed to South Africa. We are going to see the dignitaries awarding the medals to the respective sides, Morocco and South Africa. The CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, leading the dignitaries to the podium. There'll also be various awards handed out. Best player, top scorer, fair play team, best coach, young player of the tournament, all to be awarded here. The referees will also be recognised, and South Africa cannot wait to get their hands on the gold medals.
نفتتح مراسيم التتويج بجائزة اللاعب النظيف.
The match officials will receive their medals, commemorative medals for officiating this final.
With the Fair Play Award.
But first, the awards.
South Africa.
South Africa
جنوب
get the Fair Play
إفريقيا
Award.
تفوز بجائزة اللاعب النظيف.
The South African captain, Refilwe Jane, will make her way to collect the trophy for the Fair Play Award. She has started to. South Africa are still having a wonderful time celebrating.
الجائزة الثانية تخص أحسن حارسة مرمى بطولة كأس إفريقيا للسيدات توتال إنرجيز المغرب 2022.
For the goalkeeper of the Total Energies WAFCON Morocco 2022.
The best goalkeeper of the tournament goes to South Africa's Andile Dlamini.
Andile Dlamini من جنوب إفريقيا أحسن حارسة في هذه الدورة لكأس إفريقيا للأمم.
She conceded 3 goals in this tournament, but they were all sterling strikes and capable of beating any keeper. Andile Tlamini, who went the entire inaugural CAF Women's Champions League without conceding a goal through qualification and indeed through the final tournament. He's your goalkeeper of the tournament. A list of VIPs. Tlamini with a hug from Danny O'Dan, ahead of SAFA, South African Football Association. And she'll return with a goalkeeper of the tournament award to meet her teammates, and she'll collect a gold medal shortly.
And now, for the Women's National Team of the Year, the award goes to
جنوب إفريقيا.
South Africa.
The Women's National Team of the Year, it was an award that forms part of the CAF Awards. It was set to be announced at the end of this match, and indeed South Africa are the team that has claimed the title. It would be decided at the end of this match, and South Africa
Can we have a representative from South Africa?
will collect the
on
trophy.
The stage, please.
Women's National Team of the Year. Trophy collected by Danny O'Dan. Fawzi Lekja there, the head of the Royal Moroccan Football Federation.
والآن نقدم لكم سيداتي سادتي سيدة توتال انرجيز للبطولة.
For the individual award of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, we present you the Total Energies Women of the Tournament.
أحسن لاعبة في البطولة غزلان الشباك من المغرب.
Well, for Morocco, there is some consolation. Ghizlan Shebak has been named as the player of the tournament, and she is warmly applauded by the South Africans as well. She has had a phenomenal tournament. She has led Morocco with aplomb. She has played brilliantly. She has been astonishing at times. She's been eye-catching, and she has inspired not just her side, but a generation in Morocco. I cannot overemphasize the positive impact that this performance by Morocco has had on the actual acceptance of the game in Morocco and beyond. It is extraordinary, and Shebak has been very much at the center of it. She is the player of the tournament. There will also be
نرحب سيداتي سادتي بحكام ومراقب المباراة النهائية من كأس إفريقيا توتال إنرجيز المغرب 2022.
Let us welcome on the podium the match officials of the Total Energies WAFCON Morocco 2022
The officials will be awarded with their commemorative medals for officiating in this final, led by Salima Mukusanga, who is off to Qatar 2022, where she will officiate the World Cup. She and her entire team: Mimisen Agata Iore of Nigeria, Fantakone of Mali, Maria Rive of Mauritius, Mervat Sadiq of Sudan. Haitem Girat led the video assistant referee team and included Ahmed El Ghandour and Ahmed Hussam Taha Ibrahim of Egypt.
سيداتي سادتي مع تسليم الميداليات الفضية للمنتخب المغربي الذي احتل الرتبة الثانية في كأس توتال انرجيز المغرب 2022.
Making their way up to collect their silver medals are the individuals from Morocco,
Morocco 2022.
led up by Ghizlan Shiri They've all played a part, and a magnificent part at that, in helping Morocco towards a first final. It's the first time they've gone out of the group stages at this tournament. They hosted the tournament superbly, and indeed much expectation on the shoulders of these players as they made their way out for the final. This was to be their night, but ultimately falling short against South Africa. Khadija Ermichi, the goalkeeper, will get hers now. Eva Alice, among those collecting the medal. Fatima Dahmos collects her medal. Among those collecting the medal, Fatima Dahmos collects her medal. There's Ermichi, being congratulated by the CAF president. Behind her, reserve goalkeeper in Hind Hasnoy, not part of today's match squad. The Moroccan players make the slow walk. Hanan Eid El Haj collecting her medal. So too Aziza Rabah. A smile on the face of Fawzi Lekja, proud of what his side has managed to achieve. Iman Saud collect her medal. Nisrin El Shad. And this Moroccan side distinguished themselves. They played with purpose. And who's to say they weren't deserving of the title? But on the evening, they would lose. Yasmin Mrabet, Sanam Suri, Rosella Ayan. And at the very end, the captain, Gislen Shebak, the player of the tournament, and head coach, Reynold Pedros. Who's done an extraordinary job with this team. Long may it continue. The technical staff of the side also collecting their medals. Rosella Ayan scored what would be the consolation goal in this final. Well, they can be immensely proud of what they've achieved here, Morocco. They finished second. And they have qualified for the FIFA World Cup. The FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. But now for the gold medalists.
And now
they are finishing this tournament as they arrived. Jovial, in good spirits and in song. South Africa are champions and will receive their gold medals. First up, Pamanani Mbane, Noko Matlo, who has been through a host of finals in his 7th tournament, is finally a champion. Ongeka Gamene, Rigel Ngobeni, Kaylin Swart, among those collecting their medals.
South Africa
has been a successful championship.
for winning the gold medal.
South Africa have won 6 games out of 6, and they claim the gold medal as a result. Amakhalang Mutau, Robin Mudley on full campaign as they collect their gold medals.
I think the South Africans have shown great consistency throughout the tournament. They've applied themselves in the group stages, going out through to quarterfinals and semi-finals, just making sure that they embrace the changes, they embrace the challenges that they were faced with. Obviously, certain elements like goal scoring are some of the areas that they can certainly work on as they will be preparing for the World Cup. But also just Coach Desri and the technical team ensuring that they infuse more of the local talent from South Africa, as well as international players who I think have really done well in their respective clubs. This is not only just a victory for Banyana Banyana, but a massive, massive victory for women's football back in South Africa.
Around the continent as well, there is a first-time champion here. It is South Africa over host nation Morocco. But there are clearly new kids on the block, to use the phrase. Desiree Ellis collects her gold medal. She's so dearly and desperately wanted. Desiree Ellis, who grew up in Hanover Park with very little, and has managed to achieve a second qualification for the FIFA Women's World Cup, and indeed a first Women's Africa Cup of Nations crown. Medals being dished out to members of the technical staff. A few players who wait to collect their medals, including Andile Dlamini and Janine van Wyk, I can tell you, who's earned a mammoth 181 international caps in her glittering career that spans nearly 20 years. Kaylin Swart at the very center, getting ready to celebrate. Final moments before the trophy is presented to the winning captain. Andile Dlamini gets her gold medal, but the last to receive her gold medal is South Africa's Refilwe Jani, who wore the captain's armband, the AC Milan player in Italy, whose time is coming to an end at the club. Janine van Wyk there as well. The CAF president, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, is inviting the other dignitaries, including Fatma. A moment to celebrate, a moment to savor. South Africa are champions. They have achieved the unprecedented. They have set new parameters of what is capable. They believed in the impossible, and they have achieved a dream.
We'd like to thank you all for the support. Have a safe journey home and good night.
Van Wyk finally has it in her grasp at her 7th tournament. For Morocco, still despair, but they can celebrate in what has been a phenomenal achievement, having changed opinions and thoughts. Desiree Ellis celebrates, but this is South Africa's night. They are champions for a first time. And they have believed in the impossible and achieved their dream. Through their guts there is glory, and for South Africa it means the world.
See? The eyes.
Bonjour à toutes et à tous, bonjour à vous, fans de football africain. Aujourd'hui, nous vous proposons le choc de ce troisième et dernier tour de qualification pour la CAN avec les Ivoiriens. Vous le voyez à l'image, couleur orange. De l'autre côté, les Sénégalais en vert. Dans quelques minutes, nous allons écouter les hymnes de ces deux nations. Il y a quelques instants, les deux capitaines, Didier Drogba côté Côte d'Ivoire et Jacques Fati côté Sénégal, ont lu un message de paix à tous les spectateurs présents dans ce stade Félix Houphouët-Boigny d'Abidjan. C'est le match aller, donc aujourd'hui il ne faudra pas perdre de points entre guillemets en vue du match retour qui aura lieu dans un petit peu plus d'un mois. Ce sera cette fois-ci bien entendu au Sénégal, à Dakar, alors que les joueurs sont présentés aux officiels présents lors de ce match, avec les arbitres également de cette rencontre, les Marocains Bouchaïb El Araché et Redouane Achik, ainsi que les Algériens Abdelak Etchali et Mokhtar Amalou. Les Ivoiriens désormais à l'image. On va en profiter pour vous donner tout de suite la composition des deux équipes. côté ivoirien dans la cage, Barry Kopa. En défense, Yakatiene, Kolo Touré, Souleymane Bamba et Emmanuel Eboué. Pas de grosse surprise à ce niveau-là, avec au milieu de terrain Didier Zokora qui sera chargé de la récupération, avec Yaya Touré devant lui en milieu relayeur. On connaît la propension de Yaya Touré à se projeter rapidement vers l'avant, limite à être un attaquant supplémentaire pour son équipe. Sur les côtés, vous retrouverez Kader Keita et Salomon Kalou, là non plus pas de surprise. Et puis devant les habituels, Didier Drogba, le capitaine donc, et Gervinho. Vous voyez ce stade Félix Houphouët-Boigny bien rempli, et on va écouter le premier hymne national. Le lion rouge, hymne sénégalais repris en chœur par les joueurs, les lions de la Teranga, ainsi que par les 2 à 3 000 supporters présents ici, et désormais l'Abidjanaise. Voilà, en ce qui concerne les hymnes nationaux, vous voyez la ferveur dans ce stade Félix Houphouët-Boigny d'Abidjan, où les supporters attendent beaucoup de leur équipe, notamment après la cuisante, on va dire, défaite en finale de la dernière Coupe d'Afrique des Nations. Vous vous en rappelez certainement, ce match nul 0-0 et cette défaite donc au tir au but contre la Zambie, 8 buts à 7. 8 tirs au but marqués à 7, alors que la Côte d'Ivoire n'avait encaissé aucun but durant toute la compétition. Je vous ai parlé de la composition d'équipe ivoirienne. Voici celle des Sénégalais, avec une petite surprise, on en reparlera après. En attaque, dans la cage, Ousmane Mané comme prévu. En défense, Cheikh Bengue, Chekou Kouyaté, Pape Gueye, Jacques Fati. Au milieu de terrain, Ricardo Fati, le frère de Jacques, Mohamed Diamé. Et puis Sadio Mané, Idrissa Gueye sur les côtés. Et en attaque, Damé Ndoye et Papi Cissé. Donc pas de Dembaba, le joueur de Newcastle, qui est sur le banc, contrairement à son coéquipier également au club, Papi Cissé, qui est donc bien titulaire pour sa part. Et les deux équipes qui prennent la pause pour la traditionnelle photo officielle d'avant-match pour donc ce troisième et dernier tour des qualifications en vue de la Coupe d'Afrique des Nations 2013, une CAN 2013 qui se déroulera, vous le savez certainement, en Afrique du Sud. L'Afrique du Sud est donc pour l'instant le seul pays qualifié. En attendant, eh bien, les résultats de ces confrontations aller-retour. Didier Drogba dans le rond central avec Papis Cissé, le capitaine sénégalais. Jacques Fati qui avait lu le discours avec Didier Drogba, effectivement, mais qui n'est pas pas capitaine aujourd'hui, c'est bien Papi Cissé, l'attaquant de Newcastle. 19 sélections pour lui, 10 buts déjà. Papi Cissé et Dembaba qui impressionnent tous les deux depuis leur arrivée à Newcastle en Angleterre, qui font des merveilles pour les Magpies, alors que, une fois de plus, la joie est communicative dans ces tribunes du stade Félix Houphouët-Boigny. Le match qui ne saurait tarder de commencer. Et après cette rencontre aller et la rencontre retour qui suivra donc dans un mois, eh bien, une de ces deux équipes ira en Afrique du Sud et l'autre tout simplement eh bien, sera obligée de rester à la maison.
I would like to live overseas at some point, because of the standard of life.